Woof woof! Hey guys, it's me Marcus, aka the Mad Dog, and we're back with another video. Today I woke up early so that I could watch the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier and just give a quick review for you guys. Jumping straight into the spoiler-free section, if you're wondering if this is going to be worth your time, if it's worth investing in the 6 or so episodes that it's going to be, yeah, I think it will be. Without really saying too much, I think this was a great setup episode. You couldn't really feel like it was 50 minutes, whereas those first couple of episodes of WandaVision didn't even feel like they were half an hour, they felt like they were 50 minutes. I think we got a great look at some of the action that's going to be coming up. We got some great cameos from villains that we hadn't seen for a while. We got a chance to spend a bit more time with both Sam and Bucky in a setting that we hadn't really seen them in too often. Based on this first episode, do I think that this series by the end of it's going to be something that's integral to the rest of the MCU? I don't really think so. And if I'm being honest, do I think that this is going to be the pinnacle of these MCU TV shows? I don't know. I think that something like Loki or maybe Moon Knight is going to have much more broader appeal, that's going to do something different but also still nail what it's trying to do. But for what it is, based on this introductory episode, I still think that we got something that is going to be enjoyable. And if you were somebody who is a little bit disappointed with WandaVision, if you're one of those people that for the past month you've just been seeing everybody on the internet telling you that you're not smart enough to understand it, I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier will be better suited for you because it does feel like it's in that similar tone to the Russo films that have come from the MCU. However, if you were craving something bold that you hadn't really seen before from this franchise, maybe this isn't going to be the title that's going to give you that wish. But for 50 minutes we were reintroduced to characters and we got to see where they are now. They'd been developed since we'd last seen them. There was enjoyable action that could have just been a deleted scene from one of the earlier movies, that it was that good. And I think that it sets up a lot that if it does end up paying off later down the road, we will get something that is at least worth watching. But now we're going to get into the spoiler section, so if you don't want to know anything about this first episode, it's already on Disney Plus, so just go and watch it and then come back and watch the rest of this video. But full disclosure, I've only watched the first trailer for this show, the one that came out, I think it was at D23 last year, and I hadn't really remembered too much about it because I wanted to go in this without having everything already spoiled for me. And that cool canyon chase that I remembered from that trailer was the opening for this show, which I do think was great. The only thing that sort of concerns me is, what if that was the best action set piece and we already knew about it from the trailer and now we've already got it? I'm hoping that that's not going to be the case because, like I said, it does set up a lot of really good stuff that could pay off later down the line. So obviously Batroc the Leaper doesn't appear to die. You've also got the flag smashers that are also just being implemented here and we haven't really seen them at the full potential. The US agents set up at the end of this episode, and also Baron Zemo doesn't even appear. So there's still a lot of great stuff that does have to be worked into this, and unlike in WandaVision where I was wondering how exactly that could be 9 episodes long, I'm wondering how they're going to fit all of that and give it a suitable, satisfactory payoff in only 6 episodes. We haven't even seen how Falcon and Bucky get back together again, and I thought that was really going to happen by the end of this episode. I do actually appreciate that it's not rushing all those aspects, and I think it could be something that really gives us a story that we end up following and getting invested in these two characters that for the most part have just been Captain America's sidekicks. That early scene where we see Sam giving back the Captain America shield but also having those doubts in his own head of if he was worthy to possess this in the first place was something that I really liked, and hopefully that's going to be the main through line throughout this show. From the early reviews that I had seen, the snippets that I'd unfortunately stumbled on, people had said that this looks like it's going to be a great buddy cop show, but we haven't got any semblance of that just yet. Who knows if that is going to be what we actually get, and I'm not going to try and theorize too much in this because I don't think that this is going to have many theories that will have a mystery that pays off later on. But then again, WandaVision was a mystery that had no payoff, so as well, I've said this before and I know that a lot of people don't agree with me on this, but I'm still not a Bucky fan in the MCU. Does everybody remember when that first Avengers movie came out and then all these fangirls just started fangirling Loki, so then Loki only really appeared so that he could appease that part of the audience? He wasn't really the Loki that we knew and loved from the comics, and I get the feeling that Bucky is pretty much just the same. There was one really good scene that I loved, and it was that flashback with him where he was just going through that manor and he was just killing as many people as he could and he just showed no remorse. That was a scene that I really liked with him, and I hope that we can get more of that Bucky. I know that that's obviously the Winter Soldier and that's when he was under mind control, but what I'm saying is, we know that he's got that power within him, so when he's going against these enemies, why not put him in that situation and make him do the same things but towards the right people? But I know that some people really do like him, power to you, and I hope that you get that version of him in here, but for me personally, I just wish that we could get a more comic accurate version. And as well, why can't he eat with his mouth closed? That really bothered me during that scene in the sushi bar. But is this pretty much the only source of conflict that we're ever going to get for the Winter Soldier, that he always ends up getting associated with somebody that happens to have a relative that he's killed whilst he was under mind control? It seems like they're going to go in a bit of a different direction here because obviously he's got his list of people and it looks like his name's on it. So hopefully that does lead to some great scenes that also gives us quite a lot of development for Bucky, because the scene with his therapist, I really didn't enjoy that. This felt like the scene that they filmed so that they can cut these questions out and these answers and put them over clips from later on in the series whilst they're using them in the trailer. Whereas surprisingly, it was Anthony Mackie that gave a more down-to-earth performance. Like, I thought it was going going to be the other way around in this show. If we're going for the buddy cop type dynamic, I thought it would have been the case that the Winter Soldier is a straight man. Who knows, maybe they're going to flip it on its head, because it seems like Falcon's coming into more of his own character now, which is something that I'm really happy to explore. Throughout this series, hopefully he does find himself more comfortable with the shield, and he will eventually take on the role of Captain America. And Anthony Mackie is a very charismatic actor. I like him in pretty much every single thing that I've seen him in, so I'm hoping that he gets more of a presence within the MCU. This is a great platform for him, and I hope in a similar way that WandaVision elevated Scarlet Witch, I hope this does the same for him. I was really happy to see that Batroc the Leaper returned, because I'm a massive UFC fan, and I'm just so glad that George St. Pierre returned for this, and also that they didn't kill him off straight away. He's doing better than Crossbones at this point, and I hope that this isn't the last that we see of the character. And I only watched this once, so I don't know if I've missed something, but I'm really glad that they didn't introduce Baron Zemo too soon, because I like the fact that we know that he's coming. Obviously he had his own poster and stuff like that, but we know that he's this threat that at some point will be a factor for these characters. And seeing these seeds that are being sown already with the Flag Smashers and US Agent, how does Baron Zemo factor into that? That's something that I'm really looking forward to seeing. And of course I do have to mention the US Agent, and this is the reason why I'm glad that I didn't read a lot of details about this show, because I was really surprised when he turned up. This was a great cliffhanger for the first episode, and also I like that you can already just tell under that mask that this is somebody that you want Falcon to punch in the face. What I liked as well is that it didn't stray away from the fact that Endgame had happened. And I'm not just talking about the Cap stuff, but also people who had been blipped. So you had Falcon getting denied a loan, which, you know, was very reminiscent of a scene in Spider-Man 2. And you had that family tension between him and his sister, because she hadn't been blipped and she had to raise these kids on her own. And then obviously now she's got to take care of the fact that this family business is being destroyed. But I got the sense that she was blaming Falcon for the fact that he got blipped and she didn't. And the last thing that I'll say before we get into the final verdict is that I was on Yuri's side when it came to the trash can debate. Like, it felt like they were just building that unique guy up to become a bigger character later on, but if you don't ask somebody if you can put your rubbish in their bin and then you do it, why would you get annoyed at the person for being annoyed for the fact that you didn't give them permission? Like, this normally happened at your mum and dad's street, because you only have a finite space in that, and I don't know if America's the same, but we only get our bins collected once a week, and our wheelie bins could only really fit in about 2 massive bin bags. So if you put one in at the beginning of the week, maybe the day just after your bins had gone out, and then all of a sudden somebody puts it in the next day, you're probably going to need to take another bin bag out within those 6 days before it's going to get collected, and you've got no space. All Unique had to do was ask Yuri if it was okay, but we for some reason live in this backwards world where you're the arsehole because you don't want somebody else using your property. Unique had no indication that Yuri wasn't going to need the rest of the space in that bin, so why would he assume that it's just okay and then act like Yuri's the dickhead for it? Like, in that logic, if Yuri had a car that had petrol left in it but he wasn't planning on using it for a bit of time, could Unique just use that as well and that should be okay? You see, this just proves what I say. Deep inside, I am a grumpy 80-year-old man. But to sum it up, I think this was an enjoyable first episode. It didn't really do too much to push the boundaries, except for that opening action set piece, which I do think was a pretty big standout. There's a lot of great and enjoyable stuff that I think they implemented here that could hopefully later pay off down the line, but I do also think that there is the possibility that there may be too much here for the 6 episodes that have been planned. It feels much more part of the MCU than WandaVision did, but I think if you were somebody that really enjoyed WandaVision, this may feel a bit of a step back for you, but if you were somebody that didn't enjoy WandaVision, then I think this might be the show that you were looking for. So yeah, this already feels like it's going to be an enjoyable addition. It's got that tone from the Winter Soldier, but I do think that it's going to be something that a year or so from now we're not really going to remember too much. So for now, let's just enjoy it whilst it lasts, and I think I'd give this about a 7 out of 10 if I had to give a rating. That is my immediate verdict. I only really finished watching this about half an hour or so ago, so maybe I've got that hype as a result of watching it. But let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this first episode, and as well let me know if you want to see an episode by episode video, or if you'd like me to wait until the series is done, have a bit more time with it, and then maybe come back and do a full autopsy of it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, why did you get this far? Subscribe if you're new here and click the bell notification so that you never miss a video. There's some links down below in the description, like my social media, and there's also a tip jar if you want to help out the channel. Feel free to check out some of my other videos here, but until next time, just make sure that you stay safe, stay reading the best books that you can find, and stay mad all you dogs. Woof woof! See you at the next video.